Hello and welcome to Sports by Compion Midwest Rugby Edition. I'm your host, of course, Stephen Compion, joined here by my fellow co-host and patron of the show, Mr. Dan Gill himself. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Glad this series is starting to take a life of its own and gain some interest.
Absolutely loving the shades you picked for this particular episode. And of course, we are joined here by captain of the Peoria Pigs, maybe their president, who knows? Definitely the doer guy down there with them, Mr. Preston Buckner, here with us in person. How are you, sir?
What's up, boys? And not the captain, but I am the president, not the captain. That's Mr. Jesse Hall.
All right, sorry about that, Jesse. I would have met you if you came up to play us. Anyway, we are happy to have you. The president is even better. We get it right from the horse's mouth, if you will. Preston, what's up, man? What's going on with the Peoria Pigs? Let's hop right into it. Fall season.
Yeah, I mean, fall season wasn't what we're used to, but we did get a lot of guys some experience. Our locks were pretty much brand new every week, but
that's always good.
Yeah, especially being at the prop, it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, you guys love that.
yeah, having to tell them what to do and what their hand positions should be like, and making sure that I have clean underwear on for the game.
Yeah, and that they're actually giving you some power back there. It's always good for a new guy. Like, hey, so you're the power of the scrum. Good luck.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I need something from you here, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's my first time ever playing lock. I'm like, great, love to hear it. But no, I mean, as far as that, we had a bunch of new guys fill in. We didn't travel that well this year, but that's a part of us doing some more recruiting. And I mean, there was like one game that like my knee was pretty messed up, and I told Jesse, I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm going to come support. I'm going to be here for the club, but like, I'm not playing. He's like, all right. So I show up, and we got 14 guys. He goes, Preston, we need you to play. And I look at my other prop, and I'm like, Tony, buddy, you're getting all the carries today. Sorry, I'm not doing anything today.
That's fair. That's fair. He's just there for filler, for scrubs.
Yeah. But no, I'm just glad the new guys got some PT. Hopefully it carries over into spring, and we can develop some of those newer guys. We do have a couple recruiting events that we're setting up to bring some more numbers. But I feel like if we can travel like how we come to home games, aka every team ever, I feel like we'd have a better performance, and also getting a few more numbers to practice, would also help.
Never hurts. Just to back up there real quick. So you got a couple recruiting events coming up. That's exciting. Where are you going? What are you doing?
One of our sponsors, the House Barbell Club, is allowing us to go over there and just kind of put a table out.
Nice.
They're a local gym that we go train at. So they're one of our sponsors, and they said, hey, why don't you come here, see what we can do. And we're going to put some tables out there. And
nice.
I've already picked a few kids from over there to come play with us. So
there we go.
I've gotten 3 guys from there to play, so hopefully we can get
That's
a few
way
more.
better than our turnover from the gyms. Our guys are apparently just a bunch of gym bros so far. We'll see.
Well, you got to sit there and just wear them. Like, I mean, I literally wear merch everywhere I go, and I just hound them. And I mean, it sucks. It sucks that you have to be almost like, dude, come play some rugby, dude. It's a good time.
You got to be the walking billboard,
Yeah, literally.
For real.
But I found it's easier where if you're like, hey, man, why don't you just come to a game? There's some beer, there's food, just hang out with the boys. Okay, this is kind of cool. Hey, why don't you come to a practice?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, dude, let's get you sipped and let's get you playing.
All right. That's an interesting method. I hadn't really thought of that approach. It's a good idea.
Look,
get them out to a game, see what's going on.
I always tell people, you'll enjoy the social, and then we'll get you in on the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
One of our new guys this year, his very first tournament ever was Horfest.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's a perfect introduction.
That's what I said to my dude after Horfest. Like, you're obviously gonna be hooked for life. So
nice. So how is Captain Jesse working out down there?
Good.
What
good.
Position does he play? Do I know him?
He plays 9 or 10, just depending.
Oh yeah, I probably I think I've tried to tackle that guy.
He's got a mean step. That's all I know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do know who he is. Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing good. He's got some family stuff, like life's happening for him, which is awesome. Super happy for him and for our 13. So We might be having some guys play some positions they've never played before, depending on what their availability is coming, spring and fall season. But that's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. But hopefully we can get some good recruits out, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
So overall with the fall season, I don't know if you caught it, but on this very show, our very own George McCaddy came on and had a lovely love message for you guys, Preston. So if you'd like to go back through our videos and search it, it is a short in our content there. We put it as a love letter to the Peoria Pigs. Don't know if you guys ever got it, but he sent it off to your Facebook page apparently or somewhere.
I run the Instagram page, and I didn't get anything from there.
I think you sent it on Facebook. Either way, we have a video, so we can get a visual of the beautiful Ginger's face while he's giving you this message, Preston.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to go back to the shorts and check it out.
Yeah, we encourage that. But yeah, that was a huge disappointment for us to not have you guys come up. Can't say I blame you. Obviously, a 2.5-hour drive. Numbers were tough for you guys this year, especially with you having the knee injury. It was rough, but we were certainly disappointed, especially with our last game having been against the Woodsmen, and we were looking forward to playing at least one more game of rugby. Plus, it's always nice to have you guys come to us as opposed to have to go down to you. I think I've been with the Ravens for going on 7 years now. Have yet to win in Peoria, or even be close for that matter, Daniel. I can't say we've even been close to winning down there in Peoria every time we travel there. Maybe this year will be different because I think they dodged coming to us, and now we got to go down to them next fall. So.
You guys are coming to us. You guys are coming down in springtime too.
Oh.
Yeah,
I did hear about that. I did hear about that. Exciting.
Yeah, I talked to Skip, and I had so Jeff wanted to host like a 4-team festival in Peoria. So. Yeah. And he already had the other 3 teams committed, and he goes, "Hey, let me talk to Preston over in Peoria, and let's see if they'd be interested." So I'm like, "Yeah, dude, like I would definitely love that." But, like I just talked with Skip over at Ravens, and they want to play us that week. And he goes, "Well, tell Skip he's got to go to the next weekend because Daddy's coming down." I was like, "All right, man."
Checks out. Sounds like Jeff. No, that's fine. We're looking forward to seeing you guys in the spring. Then we got some new lads we're looking to get up there. So their 13 is Joe, right? Came down, played in Nash Bash with us.
Yeah, it was me, my brother.
He showed up late, like he came in like the second half. I want to say.
Ben, our 13. Ben. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, that's what I thought. So you're saying that he's not playing this year, or?
Yeah, he's got life happening for him too. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
So
that's a miss, man. That guy's a baller.
Yeah, I know. And he only played against the Riot with us this year. And I was like, dude, Ben, I missed having you out there, buddy. Like you're just a whole other dynamic of pain out in the back line.
For sure. No, the years I've played him, he's always hard to tackle. What do you think about the Riot this year? A little bit of some chinks in the armor, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have the pack that they had last year.
No.
Like, I remember we go up there, our 8-man had a concussion from the week before, but he said he was going to try. So we're doing warm-ups, and he's like, "Yo, P, like, I can't play, buddy." I was like, "All right, well, I guess I got to play 8-man," because we had another prop that was with us who'd played prop. So I go up there, and I'm playing 8, and we're just getting worked in the pack. And I remember I looked up, and their front row was like 6'4", 330 across the board.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just some monsters in the pack.
Well, it's not fair. Like their captain, Francis, huge motherfucker. He's playing hooker for them. It's like,
yeah.
How can you guys afford to have this big motherfucker be your hooker? Like, damn.
Yeah, it's just their props were just that much bigger than he was, and it worked out for him. But then I literally took our backup lock, and I'm like, dude, you play 8, I'm going back to prop, and we're not losing shit for the rest of the game. And we held our own for the rest of the game, and I think Ryan and I were the only 2 people to score in that game. And I did poach one from my other prop, and I've apologized a few times from him. I was like, my bad, buddy.
Hey, sometimes the CQL players just take these tries, man. You know what happens.
Dude, he still won't let me. We were literally at Jimmy's, our local pub, on Christmas Day. And he's like, dude, I'll never forget, dude. You literally ran in front of me and poached the ball from me and took it. And I was like, dude, I was pissed off and had a full head of steam. I'm like, I was taking that puppy.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. we had a similar situation trying to play against Uriah. I ended up at prop to tell you how that day went. But anyway, we won't hop into that. Furthermore, so the fall season wraps up for you guys. A couple recruitment events coming up. You did mention that off air that your 50th banquet was actually this year.
Yeah, so May 28th, I believe, was our date of our banquet. So the whole event was to promote youth rugby and current rugby as far as like our women's side and helping with, field costs and just trying to lessen the blow to like the clubs as far as like the petty stuff like mowing the grass and having a urinal and
Sure.
our leasing fees and stuff like that. So we raised close to $50,000 this last year.
Holy cow.
That's awesome.
And Caterpillar, one of our local companies here, they did a thing where they sent out an email to every employer, said, hey, whatever you donate to the Peoria Pigs, we'll match up to, I think it was like $1,500.
Holy cow, man.
Yeah,
There you
so
That's
they,
huge.
yeah,
I really
That's
good for
amazing.
you.
it was,
So to kind of back up on that, hold on. So you're saying that there was basically your guys' banquet, but you also used it as a promotional event to kind of get youth rugby going. And I didn't even know you guys were trying to get a women's team going.
yeah, so we have a women's side. They've been trying the year before COVID, so it was like 2019. The year that we came back and we could officially play, dude, our women's side had like 22, 23 girls per practice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I was just like, man, you girls have more people coming to your practices than what we're getting on the men's team right now,
That's
which is awesome. And
Yeah.
so they go through this whole thing, they get jerseys, they get a schedule ready, and then fall season comes around and there's maybe like 5 girls that show up.
Mm.
And their president, Janine, I mean, she worked her tail off doing fundraising money to get the jerseys and set up practices and doing getting the schedule all set up because she was running it all on her own at this point because they hadn't had an AGM. So she was just taking all the burden on herself. And I mean, dude, she worked so hard and then they literally have to just go whore on with other teams and for their season.
Were they a part of that group that traveled through the Midwest this year?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's good that they're doing that though, because at least the 5 or so that are interested are playing, so it kind of keeps that interest level there. Because the last thing you want is for them to become disinterested.
Yeah.
But I think that's a
Go
kind
ahead.
of an unfortunate problem with women's rugby in general right now. Like our very own Ren Felton probably did a similar situation here in Rockford, pretty much since coming back over 2020 to 2021, sort of raising the team. And at one point they had 15 players for one game. I believe some of them were high school girls from the local high school team or something like that, or maybe moving. I don't know how they worked it out. Had some good numbers. Unfortunately, it sort of has dwindled a lot this year to, like you mentioned, the 3 to 5 girls who are actually committed. So it's something wrong with actual women's rugby right now, unfortunately. For some reason, these girls don't want to tackle each other, Preston. Really weird.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. I'm trying to get my old lady to come play, and
she'd be good.
She's like, she goes, as long as I have a cigarette in my mouth, I'll be all right. I'm like,
I mean, between halves, the women. I mean, right now they're playing like rolling subs every 20-minute break, so she'll be okay for now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, you can get a sub whenever you want. Just like, hey, I need one.
For sure. Well, that's good to hear that you guys are getting that going. I wish you the best of luck with it. It's an uphill battle in general, building rugby for the most part.
I feel like there was actually like a decent turnout at Horfest this year for like women though. Like compared to last time I played in it, like there was actually a decent amount that played.
I think there's just a lot of clubs now. Unfortunately, there's only like 5 to 3 in each of these clubs.
Right. Yeah. So
I mean, there was like 3 to 4 girls almost on every team. I felt like.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
That's good.
I remember Sydney ran over his sister. Dude, I was crying so hard on the sideline.
Shout out Nia Powell. Trying to even tackle your brother. I mean, most girls would have just been like, nah.
Dude, she was in the way, and then Sydney's going in like a bat out of hell out there.
I know guys that don't even like stepping in front of Sydney.
I know guys that make business decisions when Sydney's coming through the gaps.
Dude, I remember we had a kickoff, and so I was next to the kicker, and I'm going down the goalpost just to set the line so they don't swing the ball back over, and the ball gets kicked right to Sydney, and I look left of me to see who's there, and I'm like, oh no, this person's about to die. Like R.I.P. to this little back that has to tackle Sydney.
And then he proceeds to get run over.
Yeah.
Not too surprising. Good old Sidney Thompson out there running people over.
Hey, he's good for 15 minutes. That's all I know. He's good for 15.
100%. 115-minute warrior.
Yep.
So, kind of going back to your banquet thing for a minute, like, have you guys been the Peoria Pigs through the history of your organization, or is it like, I know Northwest was a conglomerate of the area of Northwest Indiana rugby over the years, whereas, like, you know, the Ravens have been the Ravens since forever as well. But I don't know, kind of.
Yeah, no, we've been the Pigs since 1973. If you guys go into your clubhouse at the bar on the pitch, there is one of the original Peoria Pigs crests sitting in there.
Cool.
Oh wow.
I definitely have, and I think I've met some of your old boys. Dog maybe. But either way, like some of the guys who kind of established that club down there. It's cool that they got it going like 3 years before the Ravens. Interesting.
Yeah, Hot Rod. I mean, obviously he's always at Horfence.
That's who it was. I'm sorry, it was Hot Rod. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody and their mother knows Hot Rod. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, dude, I'm name dropping out here, Preston. All right, I know your guys. No, but yeah, that is interesting because it's like I guess there's a whole bunch of dudes in the '70s just suddenly like, you know what, dude, we need to get this rugby thing going out here in the Midwest. It's just kind of crazy because like I always Northwest Indiana almost the same year as you guys.
I would say like one of the coolest things about rugby, and like you guys will agree, I hope at least, but we had one of our captains a few years ago, and he plays all over. Like he went from like the Naval Academy to Peoria to now he's down with the Wolfhounds for Cincinnati on their D1 side. But I remember I traveled down to Savannah, and I'm wearing a Peoria Pigs rugby shirt, and this guy goes, dude, I know the Peoria Pigs. I'm like, no, you don't, dude. Like, you don't know who the Peoria Pigs are. He was like, yeah, dude, I know Drew Bettiger. He played with me in my summer sevens league for a few years. I was like, dude, Drew's my captain, one of my really good friends. Like, dude, I'm like, I was just with him like last week. He's like, oh yeah, dude, I love Drew. And like,
that's awesome.
It's just crazy that you're thousands of miles away from home, and they go, oh yeah, dude, I know the Peoria Pigs. Yeah, I know who you guys are. I was like,
it's amazing like how interconnected the game is because when Steven Taylor and I went down to Nash Bash a couple of years ago to go help Northwest play, like I'm literally like we're in the finals and we're playing against Nashville rugby, and we're literally like getting ready for a scrum and we're like locking up, and I look across at the other prop and he goes, "What's up, Towson?" And I'm like, hey, because it was just my shield for like my college team. And like, so after the game, I found him. I'm like, dude, what the hell do you know about Towson rugby? He goes, I'm from Westminster, which is like 15 minutes up the road from me. So like, we grew up in the same county, and it's like, what are the odds that I run into him in the middle of Tennessee, and we grew up like 15 minutes away from each other?
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Hey, you were mentioning the youth rugby guys are kind of getting going there. So what's the plan there? Are you thinking high school, middle school, all the above?
Yeah, so I teach over right by our field, actually, literally 1 block away at the middle school there. And we're sitting in PE class one day, and I brought a rugby ball in. And they go, yo, Mr. B, what's that? What's that big football? I'm like, no, guys, this is a rugby ball. And they go, oh, I want to play some rugby ball. I'm like, well, we're just going to play rugby. We're not going to play rugby ball. But I'm like, yeah. So we were just sitting there. I was teaching them how to pass, like how to hold their hands and, you know, how to receive the pass and just some simple stuff. And they go, Mr. B, when are we going to do a unit on rugby? And I'm like, let's do it when we get back from break. And they go, okay, sounds good.
Nice.
So what I'm going to talk to our board about next Thursday is doing like a community day, like I heard Jeff does, where like, you know, it's just going to promote youth rugby and kind of get the community involved. And so hopefully I can get some of my neighborhood kids just to come out, throw the ball around a little bit, and maybe it progresses into something more. So, but we're going to start there and just see what happens.
Yeah, we're kind of doing some rugby clinics ourselves, and exact same hope, just hoping to get people involved.
No, and I think that's kind of the key. Like we've talked about it all, and it's been It's at this point, it's a running joke when we're like, oh, it's a tough travel whenever you have a road game because no one has depth. But it's like you need to start at these youth levels to build that backing in your area, or else you'll never get the reserves that you guys need.
Yeah. And like I said, COVID really kind of destroyed our high school program. Like it got, I mean, the All Reds used to be like, it was like Metamora, Washington, Morton combined, East Peoria. They're diminished. The Peoria team diminished. Chillicothe, I believe, is no longer around. And I mean, Chillicothe was like 4-time running state champions in high school. Like they were the team to beat, and we've had a couple old boys try to step in, and I've gone out to the pitch a few times and seen with like 4 or 5 kids throw the ball around, but I'm like, well, we need to progress that. So I'm like, if you need help, come talk to us, like do what you need to do. But we never really heard anything more out of it.
I mean, like, I know every region, like, even within an state is different, but it's kind of like, what would you have to do to get it, like, I live in school systems out in, like, Wisconsin, Illinois are a little different than how they do it in Maryland. Ours is by county, but, like, Wisconsin's was more like townships. But anyway, like, how to build it to be, like, a county program, like, how it's set up for football, baseball, basketball, like, like how do you go to the county board to kind of introduce it on that level as well? And so if you make it like a sanctioned club or whatever, that might also kind of be a promising thing. Like they have the infrastructure already, they have the fields, so there's not really much cost other than jerseys.
Yeah. I mean, we would have to do it'd have to be like a West Peoria club. Because if you go out in North Peoria, I mean, to get from North Peoria to the pitch is like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like probably not going to get, parents driving their kids all the way out there. I mean, there might be a few, but we'd have to get into those schools and talk to people. And, outside of like my school, like if I didn't work at my school, there's no way that I'd have time to run out to the schools to do that. Because I remember like when I was growing up, I was a wrestler, and I literally asked my PE teacher just to make an announcement like, hey, if you guys want to sign up for wrestling, here's some flyers.
Yeah.
Like, and I did it every single year that I was at that middle school, and he never did anything. So it's like, I know I could, like, I could go to those coaches or those teachers and be like, hey guys, we're trying to set up a youth rugby program. If you could just make an announcement for anybody who's interested. I mean, half the kids are like, what is that? I don't know what that is, you know? And like my kids, like I have such a good connection with my kids that I remember a few of my basketball kids were in my office getting a couple things for me. And I go in there, I'm like, what's taking you guys so long? And they're literally watching like the South African like youth side play rugby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, you guys are actually watching rugby? I'm like, heck yeah, like awesome.
And that's cool, dude. It's a little discouraging what you're mentioning about the schools. I mean, I hear you. It is absolutely an uphill battle. And literally what I've been able to do with my job, I'm able to kind of be around and during school time. So I've literally been rolling in and talking to these athletic directors. So I hope they're not just taking the flyer and throwing it in the trash as soon as they walk out. But man, it is definitely been a struggle. But we're kind of on the same boat as you, as Dan was mentioning, to be able to get this depth, to be able to compete with the bigger teams, because you got the Riot and the Blaze, who we know aren't struggling for numbers at practice. You got Lake County that just suddenly blew up this year. I actually wanted to catch your opinion on him. We brought him up a couple times, Jeff, on this podcast. But what do you think about this surgence suddenly from Lake County?
Well, I knew they were going to be an issue during seven season.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, they're just dominating, and I'm like,
every sevens tournament.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we got second place at Shipwreck, or we got second place up in Milwaukee, or we won this tournament. I'm like, wait,
I knew it was gonna be a problem too. Yeah.
When do you guys get backs? That's what I want to know, because I'm like,
they imported a lot for those sevens tournaments, but they still had like shitloads of guys.
And I was like, we literally did not play Lake County for 3 years because they forfeited every single time, or no. Like the last 2 years, because they had to come to our place. So I'm like, so I literally texted Jeff. I'm like, Jeff, you are coming to Peoria because in my 10 years with the club, you have never been here, ever.
No way.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Jeff's like, yeah, dude, we've never made the drive.
Wow. We'll
Yeah.
see if they can pull it off this year because they're not going to want to forfeit. A lot of their guys are super competitive over there, and we're very happy with their resurgence. But yeah, it's been interesting. So yeah, with that in mind, we do got to figure out a way to build these numbers. Smaller clubs.
Yeah, and like that was so we were playing them, and like we were playing soft. Like, I mean, we just weren't playing our best rugby, and it was still a close game at the end.
Yeah.
And once you get that first loss, and it's week 1,
Yeah.
the morale from the team just kind of plummeted throughout the rest of the year.
Yep.
I mean, it was so bad. We went to go play the Woodsman, which I'd never lost to the Woodsman in my entire life.
Really?
Like,
good for you.
We lost like 77-22 or something like that. And I'm like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I did see that score, and I was wondering what was going on there. But yeah, makes sense. Just you have your down years, and yeah, the way our division's constructed, you lose one game, you're kind of out.
Yeah,
like I remember when I lost to the Riot, like I thought it was all over.
We literally had to throw backup locks in out like at the wing position because like we just didn't have the numbers. That's the one like that. My knee was pretty banged up, and I had to like go. I told Jesse, I'm like, yo, like I'm here to support, but like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna play. And he goes, yeah, dude, we only got 14 players, so I need you to play today. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Travel, dude. Like Northwest Indiana gave us a run for our money because we traveled down. There was like 14 real Ravens, and like a lot of them were kind of, not necessarily our starters. So it's travel's rough.
Well, Will, Steven and I were talking about this when we were up at Green Bay the other week. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like college football where you lose one game and your season's almost over.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of praying for, like, everybody else to lose a game, too.
Which this year saw more losses amongst the division than ever. Like, there was a lot of teams dropping in and out.
But it's just, like, absurd that, like, it just, like you said, like, you lose week 1. It's almost like if you get those people that really understand how the playoffs works, it gets very disheartening fast.
Yeah. I mean, what do you guys feel? You said we could bring up like some Carfu stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good segue to that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about teams that have two sides, a D2 and a D3 side, and you know that person has been playing D2 all year, and then it's like, oh, hey, we're gonna have like 2 or 3 guys come down here and play on the D3 side.
Did we talk to Jeff after his game against Wisconsin Rugby Club?
Dude, they did it to us, and I told Jeff it was going to happen to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way. Like, there was no way that, like, they just came out, like, that much better prepared, and they're just all of a sudden magically this good.
We beat them in the spring, and it's like, yeah, the way that you guys crushed. Yeah, no, exactly. I agree.
Or you get these like last minute exceptions for a guy that like played for another team and he moved over to another team last minute. Like, it's absurd. Like, if you're in theory having to turn in a roster every week, like on the Friday before the games, the league should be able to clearly see like, oh, Preston has started X amount of games for, like let's say you had a D2, D3 side for Peoria, like he started four games for D2 side, and then the last week of the season you're starting D3 because it's the playoffs. Like, that should throw red flags.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's an issue if you have like if you call a guy up, like let's say you had a D2, D3 side, you've played D3 all season, but you get called up to D2. Like, in theory, you're getting promoted. So in theory, like, the quality of the players shouldn't be that impactful, quote unquote.
Right.
It all depends on the depth of your program. But yeah, it's like if, the Yankees sent Aaron Judge down to go play for their AAA team on Tuesday night because they needed to win. Like, nah, get out of here.
Yeah.
No, agreed. I think it's a little out of line. I think
they just need to do a better job of policing it because it just destroys the integrity of the game. It just and really like kind of the competition, because if you have these teams that can just kind of be ringers almost come in,
yeah,
then where's the fun in it? Because if you get eliminated in the first round of your D2 tournament, you all end up in the D3 tournament. Like, get out of here.
Like, I think Jeff said that like the guy played like D1 or D2 and like put up like 4 tries against him or something like that, and like their roster got turned in Friday like at 9 p.m. instead of like Friday morning.
Yeah, that
I think
all
it was
checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there was a guy like apparently, Dan covered it from a different area. Suddenly
didn't someone come from Green Bay or something like that?
That's what I heard. Yeah, there's apparently a guy from Green Bay suddenly joined Wisconsin Rugby Club. Like, hell, great recruitment, Wisconsin Rugby Club. Just they need players. Recruit that week if we have to.
He just magically moved here within the last week.
Great timing, sir. We needed you for a playoff game. So happy
our week before the playoff started, he just, hey guys, I'm here to play some rugby. Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just convenient. Yeah, hey, Steven said they needed numbers at Northwest this year, and he joked that he's like, I'll pay your SIP if you fly out.
Dude, it was getting crazy. We literally brought in some mercenaries, Preston, and that whole game in general.
Didn't you guys have to talk like 3 retired players into coming out?
3 retired players, random rookies who gave up on rugby. We just bullied them coming back for this game. Like,
the Reapers came down to Peoria a few years ago, and we had to call U of I's like B-side to come fill in with the Reapers.
Oh man,
dude!
God bless Marcus.
It was so bad. It was 112 to like 9 or 12 or something. It was bad. It was a massacre.
Yeah,
sucks for those kids who chose to play for them.
Yeah, poor Illinois boys.
Yeah. Well, it was funny when we played it was like 2 summers ago. We played NIU. They came up and played us. That was like one dumpster fire of a game. It's like they were good. Like they had the fundamentals now, but just like the physical size of us compared to them. Yeah. And poor Evan was just destroying kids left and right.
Like I remember we were playing against Iowa in sevens, and their like actual starting prop was playing sevens, and we showed up with only 7 people, and they had like 20. And so their prop was in, and I bound on him. He just goes, shit. And I'm like, it's all right. Like, and I talked to him after the game. I was like, dude, you're going to be a good prop one of these days. I was like, but men's league compared to college is a whole different thing. I'm like, you're going to grow. You're going to get stronger. You're going to get better. I'm like, your skill set's already pretty good. I was like, you're going to get better. I promise.
That's nice of you. Because, honestly, that is a big thing. Like, grown man strength is real, man. Like, you don't realize it until you play a grown man game. And you're like, holy shit. You can't just bounce off these guys with a nice little stiff arm.
Yeah.
They're not about it. So to wrap up here on this talk about rugby, sorry. Marcus was going around recruiting people to run for president of Carfu. Is that going to be you, Preston? Are we going to be going to a Carfu AGM meeting for you to run and fix all this?
Nope.
Do you know who is running all this? We have not been exactly kind to whoever this person is here on Sports by Compton, but I don't think they're doing a very good job, Preston. Also, whoever runs their social media should be fired immediately because the dude is posting.
I think that we give better Carfu coverage.
100%.
Our weekly breakdowns.
100%. We have given better Carfu coverage than the Carfu Facebook page has put out at all.
The 1 week they were just sharing our final score graphic because they didn't make one.
I did see that. I'm like, that looks oddly familiar. I'm like.
Anyway, so finally, maybe not the best fall season. Obviously, New Year comes up, 2024. You got the spring season coming up here. Obviously, Rockford Ravens will be traveling down to you. What else you got going on this spring?
Like I said, we got that 4-team festival that we're going to do with some of the Missouri guys. We got Nash Bash, which I assume that I'll be playing with you guys if we can't get a full side, per usual. There's the All Iowa tourney that we got invited to, but 6.5-hour drive plus a 2-day tourney. It's a hard pitch to the boys.
Yeah, it is.
So
especially if you're doing Nash Bash already.
Yeah. And then so Tristan Duro's our match sec now. I had mostly everything lined up. I know we got you guys at home. and I think he's trying to get the Quad City Irish.
Oh, nice.
That's
Which,
good.
just to let you know, Springfield kind of like sent some of their players to Quad City this year.
Oh, okay, so they should be slightly better. We played them in the spring. Once again, went down there with a skeleton squad, and somehow pulled out a very W. I kind of got in a fight towards the end of the game, which ended it. But that's not the point, Preston. The point is, was not impressed with what they had, but they ultimately ended up in the playoffs. So I guess they weren't.
Yeah.
They must have rallied in the fall.
Yeah, good. I know there was one of the guys from Clinton that went over. I think we might be playing them home this year. I think they owe us a home game. I'm not sure.
Clinton's coming to you saying?
I think, yeah, that's what our match sec. He texted me. He's like, "Well, last time we played them, it wasn't pleasant. They kicked our 13 in the face."
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
I got real
nice.
mad at that one. Jesse had to pull me aside and calm me down for a minute, but
Understandable.
don't kick the boy in the face. Like, that's my guy.
Don't kick people in the face. That's not right.
Yeah, especially when he's just like trying. Like, he was on the ground, like reaching for the ball, and like the guy like tried to kick him in the face. I'm like, dude, don't do that.
Jesus. Look, you just don't piss off the front row guys.
Yeah,
like,
don't.
Don't. Oh, yeah.
Don't piss off the props.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the spring season. Obviously, fall season is what matters. What we all work for. What are your predictions for this coming into this fall? You think it's going to be a good year for Peoria?
If we can get some good recruiting and we can get, like I said, if Jesse and Ben have the time and, we can figure some stuff out. I mean, hopefully we can keep the core group there and plug and play in the back end where we need. I'd like to make the playoffs again. I would like to play in a Midwest championship again before I retire. So hopefully we can string those things together and make some magic happen.
When were you guys in the championship game?
2015 D4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, best of luck with that, except for one game. But anyway, I hope you have a great time. Thank you for coming on the pod. Any final words for these fine people at Sports by Compy and Preston?
No.
That's right.
I try to come up with something clever, like some inspirational rugby quote.
Sure.
I couldn't come up with anything, so.
That's fine. We'll keep it nice and simple. If you are in the Peoria area listening to Sports by Compy, thank you. Like and subscribe. But also, go join the Peoria Pigs. Tremendous rugby club. Shout out Peoria Pigs. Shout out Preston. Yeah, definitely one of the funnest clubs in the division. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, people.